for approval?
I so move.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Not the same bill.
Thank you for the media for being here tonight. So, okay, reports, their monthly year-to-date stats.
On the stats, if you go, there is, I caught one correction on the total, the yearly total. So it's second to last page. There's 128 total deaths. You get into the category that I look at as far as bodies cremation, she had 108. That's actually 128. And as you look at that while you're there, notice the totals. We're going to talk about that a little bit. 51 full body, 49% cremation. That's a big number in what we do right now. Other than that, no. I'm good otherwise.
Okay, we got deeds signed. I think we had 10. Okay. Unfinished business, Hal?
Sure. First one is the water lines in discussion. That's going to stay there for a while until we get a formal plan on some stuff. If you read in your old business minutes, I can't talk, I'm sorry. It says water lines in the cemetery seem to be an ongoing issue. They're not an ongoing issue anymore because they don't exist. So currently in the cemetery, we have water people can get at the chapel. I've made a kind of a hydrant, higher one that they get a bucket under, or the last two roads, or no, second to last two roads in the cemetery. That's the only existing water lines currently.
So other than that, they're all shut off?
They're not shut off, they're gone.
They're gone?
They're
Okay.
gone. If somebody turns on the main, it's gonna look like a waterfall out there. It's gonna run all over the place. No, we took all the stands out because people were trying to use them, frustrated. We got that, and I said, let's just take them out. They're not gonna be used. The lines are too bad. It's costing us too much money in repairs. And the thing is repairs, I'm not gonna say are tough. Some are easy. It's waiting that month as our water bill shoots through the roof to figure out where it's at. That's the big problem. There's hardly anywhere to detect. We've had sound listening things, different stuff to try to figure out. I mean, we know it by the meter, but you have to wait to, and you're dealing, depends what day of the week was in the old part. If they really felt good, they went down 36 inches to, 4 feet. If they're having a bad day, 12 inches. So you really don't know the levels of some of the lines. And it's old, some cast, some old plastic, black, different pipe. It's just, so the game plan is, when the engineer ever gets caught up, and I just told him I'm not waiting on him, is we'll start livening up the new section. And that'll probably be it. I'll come to the woods there on the north-south roads, and we'll do. But when we do, we're gonna come down a main stream. There'll be shut off per row. Not there's one shut off here, and I gotta shut the whole cemetery down, try to figure things out. The last two lines out there are the newer ones. Those technically come in from Grant Street. There's a 2-inch line that goes in, runs back to the shop, and then feeds out of a pit there and brings in those last two ones. It's newer stuff. Trust me, we did it twice. Yeah, by the way. But anyway, so it's newer pipe. I'm okay with that. So we will, if and when I can find somebody that has time to do it, Pete Pazika, which does our city, does a great job fixing our city water lines and stuff, is so busy. I just have a hard time getting him. So we'll find other avenues. The only other thing is because I want to get them in, since we're talking about water lines, I want to put a fill station at the chapel, at the parking lot, there on the grass where you can drain it, where we have one, so people have a nice area to go to. So I need to find out if it's acceptable what I have to there, or if we got to run underlying new all the way from the meter that's out by the front gate. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with the water lines. In that fact, and I'm probably jumping a little bit, the well, no, it's the next one, I'm sorry. The well hookup, he has come today and is hooking it up. By tomorrow, we should be up and running. This is an 8-inch well. He's down 83 feet and it's flowing. So we've had to he worked on today to how to get it to work with a bypass for winter because it'll freeze at night. And he's done a good job. So now we got to get it wired up, and I got to get a stance, and I got to get it protected. So I mean, out of this 8-inch pipe, he had probably 2-3 feet when he bored it above ground, and we're talking, and it's flowing. so it's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, pressure. But anyway, this will be on-off. You can't put a nozzle on it, whatever. You flip it on, you got water. I've got a 300-gallon tank It's an 1.25 inch line, and he said it'll probably take 3 minutes to fill that 300
Oh
gallon
my
tank.
gosh.
Wow.
Okay, so, good points, I believe. This isn't just for Oakwood Cemetery. Right now, I believe, and don't hold me to this, the park department fills at the fire department, for their watering system. And Indiana American Water has been pretty cool, I guess, in not charging, but it sounds like they want to start charging for that water. So the street has a well, and now I have one that in the town. So I've already talked to Larry, and Dustin already knows, but I say, so if they're my end of town, they can swing in, fill their stuff so much quicker, and it's gonna cost us a little electric. So I think it's a win-win. So we've been watering with a trailer with this 300 gallon tank, and then I have 160 in the back of the truck. That tank also is used for salt brine in the winter. We put a different connection on a spray bar in the back, and that's what we salt with. So we've been able to keep up with flowers, graves. The trailer even, it pumps well enough with our power washer also. We don't have any problem with the pump I put on it. So it's working out fine for us. And so far I haven't, since I've taken the lines out, I haven't had a whole lot of complaints. A couple will ask why and what's going on, but it's available. They figured out where it goes, and they bring a little container and they're all good to go. So that's kind of the water line issue, so there'll be more later on to probably discuss when we get to that point and I get some pricing on some things. The suggestions of 3, I've always left in there. I always encourage you guys to come out or in a meeting. If you guys got ideas for improvements, anything like that, I'm always open. My goal is just to bring it up to the best I can and do it with the right equipment, so someone down after me doesn't have issues with stuff. I think they kind of Band-Aided back in the day, and I'm getting rid of all the Band-Aids. So I just try to be nice here is what I'm doing. So, any questions on that or comments about suggestions? If not, I will move on. All good?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stay a little bit old with a couple things I don't have in there, just because there are a couple things came up. Cremation 2, which has been in your minutes and improvements, we just put in 2 new trees in that front part around the benches. Hopefully this fall, if I can get a few days, I'm gonna put a small pergola in between the columariums to accent that a little better, and I think that'll be done with that. With that, excuse me, in my perm budget this year and planning in whenever we do June, July, I was gonna do some asphalting, or a little bit more than what I'm doing now. Dustin, this year has been hit with a lot of asphalting and is doing a bunch of asphalt. So I kind of backed off what I wanted to do. He's came in by cremation 2, if you come out there. If you remember, we had the trees and kind of had a border going around. The road was narrow. That road is wide now. And Dustin has done that for me. We widened it a little over 3 feet, so it's more of a 2-lane so we can pass to get to the office. Tomorrow, around the rugged cross, we put block work, and he's coming tomorrow to asphalt around that. So that's, I had 30,000 in for that. Yeah, it might be $1,100 in asphalt, okay, for those 2 spots. So why I'm bringing that up is I have it, I can move it, which I have, or I'm moving it. Mike Bradford's wife got a hold of me and said, hey, if you have anything in the fall, we probably have some time. So what I've done is the preacher stand walkway, I have moved up to this year. So he's gonna come and lay that nice walkway in to go to the preacher stand this year, and I can use next year for some more wall work. So I'm moving that asphalt money out of one account and putting it into another in perm for him to do that. That total for that walkway will be right at 12,000, I believe, just a hair over to get that in. So it'll be a walkway and then kind of like a platform right before you hit the new step to go up. So I think that'll be the final on that preacher stand. We've got the gate, if you want to call it, made for that opening on the left that I assume went to a stairway one day so kids won't fall out. So that's protected, and I think we're on our ways unless you guys see some other stuff you want to do. Okay? Good enough? Okay, new business. First thing is pour. We just finished up last week and poured another 32. I believe that's the 3rd pour, and I believe we have 14, 16 on the 4th pour already. So, yeah, It's a little scary, a little bit, the budget, I bumped it up a little bit in this new budget, but concrete's going out the roof, and so with me to do 32 on average, just concrete alone is over $800. Just so you know. Now, there's re-rod involved, and of course, our labor and time. Money-wise, I took a look at it as far as what we charge per foundation, and we're still okay. We're still making money on foundation. It's not, we're not going in the hole, so we're still all right. And I'll keep an eye on that. The next one is a big one, in my opinion, is the new columbariums. In 2018, I believe she was supposed to put that in, but I'm going to go by memory. 2018, I put in 4 columbarium niches in cremation 2. It was in November or December. It was cold. At the price of just under $45,000. That was 96 niches, so 96 people could go in. Currently, I have 36 left. And at the time I put that in, I had 15 in the cremation 1 left, and those are gone. With cremations on the rise up like it is, people are buying, we're averaging about 12, 13 a year on these niches. So I'm going to have to design an area and put in more niches. It's just gonna be, this is what they want. It's honestly, when people do the math, unless they're gonna put multiple ashes out, you know, like compared to cremation garden, it's actually cheaper than buying like cremation by the time you buy a stone and foundation and everything. These we sell, if you're a resident, 600, non-resident, 700 is what we sell. I never raised the price from the old one, that they were making a bunch. So what does that mean for us? When these new ones sell, it's about 17 to 20,000 profit in that. So we're making money on what we have. So price rise, we're okay, depending on the new, they might have to be raised on this. So, last week or two, I apologize, some I've been out, I've been trying to concentrate on where. Big key in my heart is I don't want to take up usable land for full body. That still exists, and the more I can leave with that, the longer longevity of the cemetery stays open, even with roughly 17 acres still undeveloped, okay? So we have what we call potters, or section 33 3/4, which is the last section in the woods. There's a lot of area, there's not a lot of records, if anything's in there or not. Of course, back in the day, they would be 6 foot down if they were. We have to dig in there occasionally. I'm not real fond to do it. I'm usually on that crew when we do it because of being careful what we're gonna get into and whatnot. So I've checked into things, different stuff. If I was gonna make it a cremation garden, like an in-ground cremation garden, which we dig 30 inches, I know we would not touch any loved one if we did. Well, what I'm thinking more is to go into a walkway into that woods and start putting some niches in there. That way I'm above ground. I've got to drill down some to put footers down, you know, to hold. And niche is very expensive. It's solid granite. I mean, not expensive, excuse me. Weighs quite a bit, but if you go per square inch, it's not bad over a big area. It's not like you're taking it to 3, 4 points. It's a whole base mass. So you do the engineering per square inch, it's not bad. So 6, 8 inches of concrete with a couple fingers usually holds it. That's what I did on the other one. So it doesn't crack. It'll be, but you go up to 4,000 PSI line instead of 3,500, just so you understand. Because I don't want somebody to have to deal with it after me. So I'm thinking there, I'm proceeding to try to get out there to do some measuring so I can draw on AutoCAD. They make all sorts of ones. They make single cribs or niches. They make double niches. They make them huge. They make them, there's all different sizes. So being nature, I don't want to do a lot of concrete work. I want to do concrete underneath them to hold, but I want to do walkways. I want to try to make it more natural. It's kind of where we're going. That's first phase. Now, none of this is in stone, no pun intended. This is just kind of where I'm heading. There's several areas we could go to. I'm open for suggestions, but a lot of the areas I can do full bodies in. And I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to take that spot up if I don't have to. So I just want to make you aware of that. It's something on. We'll talk about it more. I just want to start getting some pricing. It'll probably be in a bid situation when we do it. But I think if I lay it out correctly, we don't have to do it all in one mass. I can lay out a section and then continue, you know what I'm saying, so we can do it with the price of what's going on. So we'll get our money back. The problem is longevity is when you're going to get your money back. So most of this can probably be funded out of PERM, I believe. being it's something permanent in there we can do. So that's something, once we get going, that I'll sit with Lynn as far as investing in what we're doing, as far as tying up some money and different stuff. Okay, any questions? Cool, you guys are too easy, thank you. Next one is trees in the general grounds. We just purchased 13 trees off of Jurgen Voss. Picked them up actually yesterday, and they are almost, I think they're almost done with them, boarded in today. Throughout the cemetery, like I say, a couple in cremation yard, filled in a few where some were dead. Had requests for some different areas that we put in. So that's actually small. I think it's 1,600. I put in 5,000 for trees, and I spent 1,600 on these 13 trees. These are a little bigger, 10, 15, they're the bigger gallon stems about. So I get the little bigger ones and do it. And Jurgen usually gives us, I think it was a 10% discount. He usually treats us very well on the trees. So with that, next is our part-time staff. I definitely want to give them a shout out. Without these guys, it doesn't look as nice as it does now. We're kind of I'm treating them to some stuff, and we're doing a couple things for them. Dan Gauze and Landon Gauze, which is his son. Jim Gauze works for me full-time, so I have the Gauze family there. Dan is a school teacher, and this is his 14th year with me. Landon, this is his second year. He's second year at Spring Arbor. He plays basketball, got recruited to play basketball up there. Their last day is this Friday. Then I have Lincoln Silvius. He is, what is it? I can't remember what he does. I had that on my tip of my tongue. Anyway, he's at IU, second year. He's been with me 3 years, and it'll be a week from Friday. It's his last. Great kid. All great guys. They work very hard. My other part-time is Scott. Scott is one that I don't take out of the system. All of a sudden, I can't tell you the word I'm trying to think of. He's able to stay in my system all year. So if something would happen, if I had like 3 employees come down, I could call him and say, hey, can you work a couple days? And he can come back. Scott had Silvius and Bradway. He worked for me full-time for a while. When Stu Watkins was working part-time for me, couldn't do it anymore, Scott switched into that role. So he's my part-time mower, is what he is and what he does. So he usually hangs on till leaf season, because he helps me bag and do some stuff, and then he'll be off for the winter, just so you know. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. They've done a wonderful job, and it's great that they keep coming back on me. So, 5, every department's getting ready. We're getting ready for fall, starting to prep. Summer's gone. Isn't that sad? I'm sorry, it is. It really is. It is so sad. I'm not looking forward to winter, but
Me neither.
anyway, it is. So, fall prep. Of course, leaf season coming up. We're just going to get everything up and running, make sure I'll have the street mechanics come over and check out the sucker and different stuff, and try to get ahead of some stuff. You never know, if anything's going to break or not, so, or what's going on. Turbine we've had worked on, so it's ready to go. We blow a little bit different than we did before. Kind of looking at you, Jerry, because you've been around far. We used to use the push blowers. Still have them, gave 2 to the street. When you use push blowers, if you get somebody new, you just put your arm around and say, I'm sorry, you're going to fall. Because when you're backing up and stuff, you fall. They make some big backpack blowers. I happen to have some, and these guys, I have less injuries. So we do it all with big backpack blowers. And these backpack blowers can blow as much as these walk behind galleries now. So they can see what they're going through. They don't have to stop and rake around it. They can blow out. And then when they get too bad, we bring the big boy out, the cyclone, and get behind them, and it definitely takes them where we need to go. Just to add on a little bit that, on my board, like I do with you, on my dry erase board, back at the shop, I have improvements. My guys take ownership of what they do, so I want them involved. If they see anything they'd like to see done, whatever, so we can bring it up as a group or individual. And one they've requested, and I thought about it, and we're going to try to get done before fall season is. They said, is there any reason that we have to have barbed wire around the lake road? And I thought for a minute, don't even know why we have barbed wire. It was there when I came. And when I changed the fence, I did it. I mean, some keep deer out. Well, it doesn't. Deer are still there. people still get in, there's walkways, it's not like where it's a prison, we're trying to keep them out.
Right.
And why they're asking is, we have to modify the sucker to get up and over, and the guy's gotta sit there and hold that barbed wire and pull that, as we're sucking that fence row around the lake. I said, I see no reason, so the barbed wire's coming off the lake,
Good.
so they can get that. I thought that's pretty, we'll probably leave it around the rest of it just for now, because it's not hurting anything or whatever, but I'm like, no. I don't mind it, I just wanna keep cars out at night. People are
Right.
gonna come in, they like to walk at night. I have no problem there. So just so you know, that suggestion is also up there, we're getting a few. Sometimes is I need icicles or popsicles, I need, some are, so we're not really going there. But it's in different stages. I want them to take ownership. They're the ones out there pounding and keep making it look as nice as it is, and working hard. Last thing I have on there for me, unless you want to discuss any more, budget, I go in front of the firing squad, right, Jerry?
Right.
I go in front of Jerry and them. I go in front of them Monday. I think mine's at 6 o'clock, which you guys have all had a copy of it. I think we're right there. I don't know the big picture. Joe talked a little bit about the different numbers where they base, for tax rates and stuff, which is over me, I don't deal with. So basically, we'll go in front of the board, see if they have any questions, what they want to do, and then we'll go from there. So I don't see any big changes. I think go up a bunch. It actually went down a little bit compared to what the original budget was, so I think we're okay. Any other questions?
Just make a note on your paperwork, the next meeting is not September 7th, it's the 14th.
Is that the one we changed?
That is the one we changed, because I'm not gonna be here.
That's right. I was gonna ask you when that one was. So it's the
The
14th.
14th, I wrote it on yours.
Oh, here.
14th.
Yeah, I had something I wanted to, we talked about it, I don't know, a meeting or two ago about doing the thing where we have actors in front of the different grades and
Yep.
stuff. Is that still something of interest?
No, yeah, it's still something here. I haven't got to the Historical Society to start asking. They
Another-
knew many years ago I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But I haven't.
It's a
got to
cool idea, I think.
Right.
I was just thinking also, our civic theater people might be interested in helping and doing that. I'm not saying they need to be or anyone else, but I'm just saying they could be
They could
the
portray.
talent.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I
Yeah.
would love to make it I think there's so much rich history in that
Oh, I
that
agree.
cemetery.
I agree.
And I mean, like, guys like you that know that help, what we did before.
Sure.
'Cause, I mean, I watched those kids, and where you dealt with them, and I think they totally enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah,
And some of the stories or whatnot with the people in there, and I mean, they're just,
absolutely.
I mean, even to previous is Charlie Smith.
Yeah.
Look what he did here, and, you know what I mean? You can go
Yeah,
from
yeah.
old to young.
Well, I think it'd be a community activity and just open up, I mean, people come out. I mean, I think it was
Was-
worthy for pursuit.
Was
In
there-
around Halloween time, is that when we would do it, or?
I don't know when they did it
Yeah.
before.
It was in the fall.
Was it?
Yeah, it was in the fall.
Was there a written script?
Oh, yeah. for
Yeah,
each
we
one
still
of them.
have that, and then I actually,
Oh, so you
and I
have the
really,
script then, okay.
all of the original ones, and it needs to go farther.
Yeah.
And I actually have a very lovely lady, and I'm sorry, it's on the tip of my tongue, I have her name on my desk. She's been doing a lot of history, and she brought us a zip drive
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
of different stuff, and she's continuing in
Yeah.
different phases, like murders and different,
Oh, yeah.
so we could put, because when Dave started, you believe you started that,
Yeah,
didn't
well,
you?
we used to do a scavenger hunt
Yep.
with the summer school history kids, and they had a blast. We'd come out there and we had, I forget how many different characters they had to go look up about different things that are unique to the cemetery, and that was fun.
Yeah, it was, I mean, from.
And they learned something even.
Historical to some where like the guy came home in the early 1900s and took his necktie off and hung his wife, and he made it fun too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, there's a lot of cool stuff out there.
Yeah.
I mean, what shaped and molded this town
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
in this county. Yeah, it's something, no, it's still,
Okay, well.
I just
anything-
haven't got to the.
Anything I can do to help, and also, I mean, I know our history teachers at the schools would be interested too, I think, and, so there's people that would be willing to work on that project.
And I would like to, I don't know how much the Historical Society meets anymore. I used to be on that when we were doing the
Jerry can
Oh,
tell you.
yeah, that's why I was looking at it, because I was on it quite a bit when we were mapping the cemetery. And I kind of missed getting, because that's all I was there for. But I would like to maybe talk whoever's in charge and maybe go through you to see if I can get back on that meeting schedule.
Sure, that'd be Sure, easy enough to do. We meet every other month. But that'll be changing next year. We go to have 6 meetings for the board this year. But next year, we're gonna go to 4 meetings because we're closed, the museum's closed the first 3 months of the year. So we don't see much sense in having a board meeting during that closure time. But, yeah, we're
So-
always looking for people to volunteer to get on the board.
Well, I wouldn't mind just because of doing this, and I enjoyed it before, and I mean, they're doing a lot of extras, like getting the obits in this GIS and doing stuff. But do you think that would be something they'd be up for?
They certainly wouldn't hurt.
Well, and I want to clarify, this would be, I'm not going to ask them to fund this. I
Yeah.
think they did the last one, but I know the situation, and that's why we fund the website. We do for the county, for all the county cemeteries. Because, I mean, they're unlimited funds. It would be more, I would come to you guys, the council, and ask, once we put this together, if I could use it, put it in my budget type thing. I think that it would just be a good thing for the community. Because this is how my mind works. We do that, we get food trucks.
Oh, sure.
You know, we do.
Absolutely, make it
and just-
an event.
You know, who would think, I mean, I know they do it at other cemeteries, but let's make it a big thing and see if they come out and hopefully they learn a little history of what's going on.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be cool. I mean, we've had a movie shot in there, so why not do that?
Yeah, there you go.
You know, so, yeah, okay, good. Thank you for bringing that up. I will try to work on this. If you would send me, Jerry, the times, or ask whoever if it's okay
Okay.
if I come,
Sure.
whatever, and then hook me up and I'll try to get started back in on that.
Yeah. I'll get a pen. I'll get that down with you.
All right, when I see you, I'll run over you and remind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll stay on the loop on this if you want me, and I'll help.
Yeah, I would like to, because if we can get that kind of group, because my thing was too, was, my brain is going, the theater, the wagon wheel, thank you. My granddaughter has been in those,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
in
yeah.
this last one. It made me a point where, hey, I mean, you need extra practice or whatever, and, because portraying some of the people out there would be
Oh,
just
it'd be
absolutely
fun.
amazing.
Mhm.
I think it'd be cool.
I totally do.
So, yeah, I think so, to make an event, like a weekend event or something.
Mhm.
Cool, we'll get on that. Stay with that, man.
I will.
On that. Keep pushing me on that one. Anything else? Anything for you? Like I say, it's been a good summer so far, getting a lot of things done. I was telling Ken, I'll share a little bit, this week was pretty tough. I've had equipment break, things go down, just oddball weird stuff. My toolcat, they called, out in the middle of the road and cemetery, done. Tire bearing went out, wheels sideways.
Wow.
There's some wear on it I'm not real happy about. We found a spring broke.
Wow.
Tires were in wrong. It's gonna be about a $3,000 fix. Now, what's nice about it, it's gonna be like a $3,000 fix. That's no brainer. Street department came and picked it up and they have it, so tires are expensive on it.
The good and the bad.
That toolcat, I'm not gonna lie, is a gator on steroids that runs everything on the front, and it is, if I could afford one down the road to get another one, I would do. They're expensive machines, but that machine goes out every day to do stuff. It's just a multi-function tool to work in that cemetery. You can carry dirt in a bucket, you can put an auger on it, put your equipment in the back. It's really cool. So anyway, that went down, a couple other things, but it'll all get better and get fixed, so. Anyway, I am done, sir, unless there's any more questions, we can get you out of here.
No, anything else?
No.
Okay, all right, meeting's adjourned then.
Thank you.
So,
All right, I'm out of here.
Good night, Mayor.